Welcome to Private Club Radio, your weekly source for industry education, news and discussion. Broadcasting from Tampa, Florida, ladies and gentlemen, here is your host, Gabriel Aloisi.
Well, it's wonderful to be with you here on another Monday morning on Private Club Radio. I've got a really cool guest today. Jason Patronas of Scan & Score is going to join us and tell us about his new technology which could change your operations for the better. We're talking about digital scorecards, a way for your club to be safe during this time, to also be good to the environment by removing paper from the golf carts. Now people can literally go up to the first tee, scan a QR code, and start keeping score on their phone with no app to download. It's a really cool system that I'll have Jason tell you more about here in just a moment. Before we get started, I just want to say thank you to all of you who subscribe to the YouTube channel. We did hit the 1,000 subscriber mark last week, and that felt so good. It's been a long journey, and I just wanted to say thank you for helping me get there. Many of you have been joining us on Wednesdays for our Private Club Leadership Roundtable. We will be holding another one this Wednesday, talking about how do we successfully market and communicate to new and potential members coming out of this. A lot of our clubs took a really bad hit here during the crisis, and our goal on that call is to get you back and confidently opening with a plan. If you would like to be on one of those calls that we're doing basically every week, go ahead and just shoot me an email, gabe@privateclubagency.com, and I'll make sure that you're on the list if you're not already on my email list. All right, without further ado, let's bring on our featured guest of the day. Well, my next guest is Jason Patronas. His new product, Scan & Score, really caught me by surprise. Generally, I hear about a lot of technologies that generally something that I've seen before, but this was something really new, at least new to me, even though the technology has been around. And I wanted to bring Jason on the show so we could all learn about what he's doing for clubs. So Jason, welcome to Private Club Radio, man.
Hey, first, thank you very much. Thank you for having me today. I know this is a challenging time for as we navigate this COVID-19 world, and I hope your listeners are doing well as they prepare for what golf is like, the post-pandemic world.
Yeah, well, obviously there's a lot of bad things happening, but some of the good things that are happening is there's innovation happening. People are getting more nimble. They're thinking about their business differently. And again, that's why I liked your product, because I think it's something that clubs have needed. And now is maybe just the right time for them to take the plunge. So first off, talk to us about Scan & Score and how it works.
Well, so I guess it goes back to when I've been in the software industry for about 20 years, and I'm also an avid golfer. And so I've always been thinking of ways where I can blend my passion for golf with technology. And in early 2013, I started working on a mobile scoring app for me and my friends. And it actually started to turn into quite a local hit. And pretty soon we were having regular 2 or 3 mini group events, scoring and keeping track of our side games and everything else. But during this process, we knew that many golf courses were struggling to adopt some mobile technology or technology in general, is because there really wasn't a really lightweight way for them to kind of enter into the technology space and show a responsible way of use of technology on the golf course. And so what I tried to do in this year was to encode all the golf course information into a QR code and provide that QR code to the golf courses so they can put it into whatever branding they want, put it whatever signage or placard or on the tee, or have their starter have this QR code. And all the golfer will have to do is bring their phone out. Every mobile phone right now has a native built-in QR code reader, so you can throw away or delete your third parties. They're all you just point your camera at a QR code, and it will almost instantaneously pick up the QR code.
Yeah, so if you got like an iPhone or an Android, you just stick it up to this QR code, and then like a scorecard pops up. Is that pretty much the concept?
Yeah, the concept is to try and make it really easy. So we have, cards are very much part of golf. I've been on kind of a mission for, about 7 years to try and, reduce the utilization of the paperless card. As you know, the paper card. Most of us have been impacted by the removal of paper in our lives, whether it's plane tickets, movie tickets, or going to a sporting event, or just in our household. We get email and we don't get paper mail as much. So it's been a while. The golf has slowly adopted to it, and partly because there really hasn't been a very good solution for them to slowly adopt it in a way that's not throwing a mobile application with a sign up, user account, log in, and a whole technology challenge for the pro and the operators. And so we've decided to really make it easy for golfers and for the clubs to adopt this by simply implementing a QR code. You scan it and up pops up the course you're playing. You choose what 9 you're playing. You choose how many, your players, you change their names, and then you hit one button and you're scoring. And this scorecard allows for the handicaps and all that stuff to be adjusted on there. So when you set a golfer up, you say he's a 10 handicap. All the holes will reflect where they actually get their handicap would apply. And then you share it with the club afterwards. So you share when you're done, you confirm your scorecard, you share it with the pro shop or whatever. They'll have a link. They tap on it and they end up seeing your entire scorecard. That's and all awesome. You have to do as a golfer is remove it from just delete the browser tab. It's like you're throwing the paper scorecard in the garbage. And so then unfortunately this pandemic happened. So which only brought some of the awareness. We were really focusing on trying to reduce waste and kind of migrate away from the paper card as much as possible. And then with the pandemic, it became essential to get this out as much as possible, as quickly as possible, which is why we partnered with an existing tee sheet vendor for the private club space, a well-known tee sheet vendor, Forties. So if you're a Forties customer, you'll already get this paperless scorecard option within their mobile application. And for those golf courses that are not on Forties, we can still provide it to you, and we'll give you the email address. And all we provide you is a QR code, and then you choose where you want to put it. There are no restrictions. Make a sticker out of it, put it on your steering wheel of your carts, put it on your outside of your door, give it to your starter. No one has to touch the QR code. They just show it and they scan their with their phone, and they're ready to go.
Even engrave it on a nice placard or something. That would be pretty cool as well.
I do have a couple of courses that actually made a signage that's on the tees that has their logo, some description of the course, and the QR code sitting next to their logo.
Yeah,
actually, it's really nice.
Yeah, I bet it does. But what I love about it is that the fact you don't have to build an app, you don't have to have a custom app created. It happens online. People don't have to download anything to their phone. They literally just scan that QR code and boom, they're scoring. I think that to me was really what caught my attention is the ease of use of this thing. And the fact that now a course can actually throw away all that paper. That saves, a certain monthly cost on paper plus pencils probably too, because now you don't need pencils on every cart. And I think it's just a really simple, elegant solution to a problem that maybe we didn't even know we had. We didn't have this problem 3 months ago, right? But right now you've got a lot of people who won't touch anything. Like I went to the bank. I went to the bank yesterday, made a deposit. They handed me back a receipt, and I didn't even want to take it. I said, "Don't even worry about it." And I know I'm not a complete germaphobe or anything, but there's more people like me who just don't want to have that interaction, and this makes it really easy for them.
Yeah, and it's a natural progression. It's been. I know clubs have already been adopting it. We were doing it and helping clubs, prior to the pandemic. But now it's really kind of escalated their need to want to move to more of a paperless alternative.
Right.
And that's what we're trying to bring them is a simple way of doing it, because there's a lot of mobile technology and technology companies that are out there that are trying to market to the golf course. And really what they're doing is many are just injecting themselves between the golf course and the golfer. So hardly a day goes by where I don't get emails or notifications on my phone, tell me about upgrading, get a new tee time, get golf instruction online from them. These are all people that are between you and your customer. And we want to make sure that we protect that relationship and grow it. And to do that with technology, but give you a simple way of getting your toes wet into coming up with a strategy for mobile technology on your golf course in a responsible way, and not just, for $400 a month, you get all this stuff. Well, that's overwhelming to people who are just really trying to move, golfers throughout their golf course. They don't want to have them arguing about, I don't know how this works. And now they come in the pro shop and they're bothering your assistant, and all they're doing with their hands up there like, I don't know. I'm not the IT staff.
Yeah. You're reducing friction points, I think, is what you're doing. And I know from my own experience, I built a mobile application, had all these bells and whistles, but it just became something difficult that members had to learn something new. Whereas this is intuitive. I'd love for you to actually just take us through that, Jason, if you don't mind sharing your screen. Show us what one of these QR codes looks like, and then show folks who are watching this on the video stream, at least, how they can enter a score into the system. By the way, if you're listening to this on the podcast, I will put the link to this video in the podcast. You can actually follow along with us too. But Jason, I guess just do the best you can to kind of tell us what we're looking at here as well.
Yeah, so I'm trying to see what you see. I have a QR code from a private club in Duluth, Minnesota, Northland Country Club, who's using this. Do you see my screen fine?
I do. Yep, looks beautiful.
Okay. So this is a QR code. This is all that we provide you. We have encoded all your golf course data within this QR code. And so even if you're a multiple course, you scan this, you're prompted, what course you're going to play, and then from there, what nines you're going to play. And all your T-set data is all there. And if it's not accurate, we have an easy way for updating. Some people have gone to different names for their forward tees, or they built new combo tees. So we can get your up to the date golf course data ready for you very quickly. Some people just send us their updated scorecard, and then we cross-reference that with our data, and then we generate the QR code. We throw an optional logo in there if you like, and then we email this to you with a couple of examples that we've seen at other golf courses, and to give you an idea of how they use it. And then you're just free to print it off and put it as many places as you would like. For something that you could try, since you see this, scan it with your phone, hold your phone up, and just point your camera at it. You don't have to take a picture of it, but if you just do it, yellow bars will, at least on iOS, which I am, yellow bars will go around the QR code, and you'll be able to jump right into your scorecard.
Yep, I just did it myself. It pulled right up. It said, do you want to open this in your Safari browser? I hit yes, and all of a sudden I'm looking at a scorecard in front of me from Northland Country Club.
Yeah, maybe if you turn it to the camera, they might be able to see kind of what you saw too, what the scorecard.
Yeah, they won't be able to see that one because they're only seeing you in the screen right now.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right.
But
from there,
we recommend you try it at home for sure.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's easy to try and get a feel for it. It may not be your club, but anyone who's viewing this will be able to, scan this QR code during the video, and then from there, maybe draw the connections of what they need to do at their club. And like I said, there's no restrictions. And we just really want you to be able to start this new year with a very professional way of answering the question of how are we going to be addressing paper on our golf course, and how people can do this without having to sign up, create an account, or do anything crazy like that. And all that does is really slow down play, and hit people up for their emails so they can be bombarded with spam and upgrades and stuff like that, which is not what we're trying to achieve here.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Now, so if you don't mind, go ahead and maybe you can possibly show us your screen here where we can actually see what this app would look like. I shouldn't even call it an app. It's really like a web page that opens in a browser.
Yeah, it's a mobile web app. It's a progressive web application. Let me bring this up here. So if you're able to see on my screen. Can you
do that thing where can you screen share it, the phone itself?
Yeah, give me a second here.
Yeah, I'll edit that so it looks right.
Yeah, so let me tether this here. right, now I think I have to choose this, or do you see it right now?
No, I'm just looking at this QR code still.
Okay. So I think if I hit stop share, it will ask me to share again. Here's my movie.
There we go. Cool. Awesome. So I'll just ask you that question again. We'll cut it so it's right. That's awesome, Jason. Maybe you could show us what an actual web page or this mobile application looks like.
Right. So here, what you're seeing is after scanning the QR code, it takes you to this dashboard where you end up choosing the golfers that you're playing with. You have 4 by default. You choose your front and back tees. And since this is the first time, I'll add my name in here. And the tees that we're playing, and my handicap. Okay. So now I would do this for the other two or three players. Maybe I'm removing one, adding one or removing somebody from here. You just would tap on this. You just tap on the trash can. It'll ask you to remove it, and you move forward, and then you just hit play now.
You're a good golfer, by the way. Are you really a 3?
3, 4.
Cool. That's
3,
awesome.
4. Yeah.
That's excellent.
But probably a 7 by the time I actually get out. Remember, I'm in Duluth, Minnesota, so I'm not. I haven't played yet. In fact, tomorrow's my first day. I'm going to be playing. It's going to be 47 and about 20-mile-an-hour wind, so it's not all that often. I'll have fun out there.
That's awesome.
So here's the interface. I use this when I play, so you'll notice that the buttons are very big. You're going to have a glove on or something else. You're pulling out of your pocket, and you just want to be able to simply keep score.
Yep.
Right.
Easy.
And you just end up swiping or tapping to the next tee, and you just give your scores like this. I'll do one more here.
Yep.
Now, if you happen to be somebody who keeps stats, you just tap on your name, your score, and here you have a full stat sheet. But what's key here is that we end up trying to not put that right in front of you. Just take care of the things that you do right away. And first and foremost, what we're trying to do here is simple scoring. But if you do happen to want to take stats for the day, we're able to do that, and you're able to do that for the people in your group.
Yeah, it's very intuitive. Again, for people who are watching this or who are listening to this on the podcast and can't see the screen, big giant buttons there. And it's very simple. There's actually a scorecard view as well. You want to show us that, Jason, where you can actually see the scorecard. So it looks just like you would look a paper scorecard. It even has little yellow buttons there. And what those little yellow dots signify are holes that you might get a stroke on based on your handicap. So really simple.
Player 2 doesn't have any,
Yeah.
But if I wanted to edit player 2 in mid round here, because let's just say you got going and you wanted to, and it took a little while. You got on the golf course, and then you realize, hey, this is something I like. You can go back and make some modifications. So I made player 2 a 9 handicap. And instantaneously, from your golf course data, I gave you a scorecard, not only on the front, but also on the back 9, where they would be getting their shots for net. And so if you happen to be over an 18 handicap, some holes would actually have 2 shots on.
Wow, cool.
Right. So it saves a lot of time on creating scorecards where people, many notate on their on their paper cards with a dot, or something like that to signify that somebody gets a shot on that hole.
Right.
And we also do it on the scoring tab as well. So if you're scoring, you'll be able to immediately see what player gets a shot that hole. And when you are scoring, your first tap actually takes you to what their score probably will be. So if they get a shot here, their first tap would take them to a 6, whereas me and player 4 actually went to a 5. So there's even less taps that need to take place.
Nice. And you got a little lock button up in the top right of that screen. Tell us what that's for, Jason.
Well, since this is going to be most likely be in your pocket, and again, this is something that I've been using for years. So there's some on-course testing and training here. When you put this in your pocket, we're probably all heard the term a butt dial. Your phone goes off in your pocket, and for whatever reason, it gets touched to either call or answer. And since these big buttons are here, there's enough surface area for if it's in your pocket to be to adjust the score. So what you do after you score is you just hit this little lock button. So now if it goes in your pocket or somebody else tries to change the hole or the score, you try to, and it just says that this hole is locked. Please unlock to make changes. So it helps for inadvertent changes to your score after you have taken the score down. And it's just a nice feature because, sometimes you're on hole 13 and, for whatever reason, you got onto someone's on, you're on, gets back to hole 2 and you actually you adjusted the score and you really wouldn't know because it was just sliding around in your pocket. So this is a protection against that. Gabe, I can't hear you right now. You just went out.
And the other thing is when you enter that last score and you attest on 18, that actually gets transmitted straight to the pro shop as well, right? Yeah,
you can. So you can jump to any hole here, but if you get all the way through 18, let me just go to the attestment here. So here is where golfers can attest their score. If I sign here, that's for me, and player 2 can do their bit here, and that's kind of how we attest. But then we can share this scorecard with the pro shop or wherever who needs this. I hit share. What pops up is the standard share sheet. I can choose who I share it with, and what we're finding is now the people will be sending this to the pro shop. Or the assistant, they'll have a phone number that they can text or email this scorecard to.
Yep. And
what they'll have then is a link that takes them to the scorecard. So essentially, they have access to this view. So if all let me put in a bunch of scores here just for the front 9 to give some sort of clarity for. You see, scoring is really easy. There's really not much more to it than just tapping up and down.
Exactly.
And so this is 9 holes, and you can easily adjust by just tapping on the gross and the net. I switched it now. This is the net view.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the gross view.
Yep.
So if you're in the shop and you get a link to it, you get to see this exact same. So if they're trying to do a league that has gross and net, it's very easy for them to be able to toggle back and forth between the different scores and the adjusted scores.
Yep, I love that. It's going to make it so much easier, especially also if you have 4 tees, then you can integrate right into that. But you don't have to have 4 tees either if you're a club that uses another piece of software, right?
Yes. So with 4 tees, what they do, they're another Minnesota company, and we've had a relationship with them for a little while. And we now have a partnership with them to provide a paperless scorecard option through their mobile app. When you have T-sheet integration, it's a little nicer because if you remember on the first after you scan it, it shows you and then 3 people that you have to put the names in. From 4Ts, there's not a QR code. It's just if you click on the tee time, it will load in the players' names and their handicaps and load that already, and you're then ready to start scoring. It takes you right into this view right when you tap on your mobile app in 4Ts. Nice. So there isn't this setup phase. So we skip all that, and they pass in all the tee time information for your group, the course you're playing, and your handicap, and you're ready to go.
Even better. I love that. One more question for you while you've got that up on the screen. Let's say, hey, I want to show my friends a YouTube video or something, and I end up typing something into the search bar up there, and maybe I lose the scorecard from the browser. How is it easy to go back to? How does it work?
Yeah, so if I just hit, obviously if I hit refresh here, but if you end up going back, let's say, I don't know what other tabs you have, your other tabs. I have some things on here, privacy and security. These are some websites I go to for development. You would then, you can just remove this one or, swipe out a different one. So you just come back into your same same.
It knows that, then it kind of saves that in a cache or something.
Right. So, you end up having, you know what the URL that you got there with,
Yep.
Obviously, if you play around with the URL too much, and then because there's no land, you scan the QR code. If you scan the QR code again, if you have a live game, it won't remove it, but it'll start a new game.
Okay. Got it. Interesting. Okay, cool. That's just good to know. But again, such a simple, easy, intuitive system. I'm going to go ahead and take you off of share so we can chat to each other again here. But I love it. It's simple. It's straightforward. It's intuitive, and it just makes a lot of sense. You've got a huge price tag on this too, don't you, Jason? Tell us about that.
Yeah, it's really expensive. So our goal here was to really get golf courses going with it. So for less than $1 a day, you will have unlimited paperless scorecards. And so for a club, it's about $349 or $350 a year. And we're providing this free for 90 days, 90-day different deferred billing to give you a chance to try it out. Slowly start adopting a paperless strategy and do it at your ability to adapt to it, not to buy some mobile application with all these bells and whistles, which sound great, and they are. There's some really good companies out there providing great mobile solutions. But you need to have a softer way of entering the market, and I believe this is an easy way for clubs to say, hey, this is what we provide. We may not have a mobile application that is in the App Store, but we provide technology solutions on the golf course that are taking our interests first. They're talking most about our brand, not selling these people tee times after they sign up, selling them instruction, bypassing your assistant pro and pro for some of these things, selling them equipment. It's just not a great way for us to be injecting people between us and our customers. And this becomes a way where it becomes really easy to give it a try. Try it for a couple of months. If it works out, great. If not, it's $350 a year. It's less than $1 a day. You're going to spend way more on paper and pencils, even before COVID-19 pandemic. This is just an easier way, cuts down on waste, and it's really a product that's not going to break the budget. So we want it to be a fair product for what you're getting.
Yeah, I think the value is absolutely evident from what I can see. Like I said, I get pitched a lot of technology things, and this was one that definitely caught my eye. I thought, I've got to talk to Jason. Honestly, I blow off a lot of people that come at me, which is hard to say, but this one looks like the real deal. Obviously, you got a great, strong partnership with 4Ts, and they believe in the software as well. Like you said, it's a no-brainer. I would encourage all of our listeners, all the people watching this YouTube, check out what Jason has to offer. Jason, if they want to learn more, how do they do that, sir?
Well, they can send an email to sales@apparitionllc.com.
How do you spell that, just for folks?
APPARATION LLC.com, Apparition.
Beautiful.
And they can also go to scanandscore.com, SCAN or -N-score.com. And from there will be the same email addresses that I gave you, Jason, or sales@apparitionllc.com.
Private club clients can email scorecard@4ts.com.
And their call center, who understands how to communicate with golf courses, they know the best way of contacting them and working with you to get you quickly a QR code. That's why it was integral to partner with someone in this space who understands the nuances of selling and to a golf course, and knowing right now you want to have as many familiar voices as you can. And I'm not known to a lot of them, and I want to hide my brand behind the ones that are trying to help you every single day and provide them value-added technology solutions. So if you never hear of Apparition or Golf Score Cloud or Scan and Score, it's intended to be that way. We want your vendors to be pushing your brand as responsibly as possible.
Yep, I love that, Jason. So again, definitely recommend people check it out, getting a hold of Jason. I'll put the links down in the podcast notes as well as the show notes on YouTube, so you can easily click those links and find out more and get in touch with Jason. Jason, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for coming on Private Club Radio.
Appreciate it, Gabe. Thank you. Stay safe.
Well, that's going to do it here on Private Club Radio this week. Thanks for taking some time out of your day to join us. I hope you get in contact with Jason. Sounds like an incredible piece of technology that your club can use. I'll catch you back here next week. And until then, here's to your membership success.
Private Club Radio is brought to you by Concert Golf Partners, helping to preserve and enhance private golf and country clubs. Visit concertgolfpartners.com to learn more about the recapitalization process.